Well, the economic fallout from the Middle East war is having knock-on effects far beyond the battlefield. The strain, along with a collapse in foreign aid, are pushing more African countries to the International Monetary Fund. The IMF says a growing number of governments are now seeking loans or expanded support under existing programs. The surge comes as the Trump administration pushes countries around the world to sign a joint declaration that calls for, quote, trade over aid. It would mean a move away from direct aid to poorer nations in favor of increased trade led by private companies. We're going to speak more on this and bring in Eric Pelofsky, who is the vice president of the Global Economic Recovery at the Rockefeller Foundation. Eric, great to have you on the program. Thanks so much for joining us. I'd love for you to, first of all, explain what this trade over aid policy means practically for poorer nations.
Well, thanks for having me. I mean, I think fundamentally, the sort of strong preference for trade over aid means that it's basically a patina on a policy, right? The administration has in several iterations tried to dramatically cut aid. Congress wasn't really for it, but it has tried to premise the idea that if we focus on commerce, all of the kind of challenges that aid is meant to address will simply go away. That's, of course, fiction. These problems won't go away. They have to be taken on in serious and methodical ways, whether you're dealing with pandemics, you're dealing with other kinds of health challenges, you're dealing with climate change, you're dealing with economic recovery. All of those kinds of challenges require not just trade, but they require aid. And that's why the U.S. has always been a very positive force in the world, using its aid and its know-how to build a better, more prosperous world.
Well, we are seeing, as you mentioned there, that the Trump administration has sought to really dramatically remake the global aid system. How worried are you about this new policy?
Well, I just, if you look at the kind of situation the world's in, I just don't think that a major diminution, basically a dramatic cuts to aid. I think the world OECD said that aid has gone down nearly 23% in the last year. That kind of change is not going to solve any of our problems. It's just going to push them off, the headlines and into reality, where we all have to deal with them in different ways. So if you don't have efforts to fight pandemics that we fund globally, then we're far more likely to find that airplanes going around the world are carrying dangerous pathogens. If you don't have things that address food insecurity, then you're going to have not just famines, but people on the move, migrations that affect borders. So you can either deal with the problems as they come, or you can deal with them as they come to you. And that's really the reason why U.S. foreign assistance has always been part of our national interest.
Well, this dramatic reshaping of the global aid system really comes against the backdrop of this America First policy that is very much the strategy of the Trump administration. Isn't it America First, though, to protect the world and to limit the spread of things like HIV, which foreign aid does? Isn't that America First?
To me, it seems very clear that when you want to make the U.S. stronger, you want to make the U.S. more prosperous, you want to make the U.S. safer, things that this administration has said very clearly over and over, then aid is a vital part of that international engagement. And it's why aid has been a part of our national security for literally decades, from the beginning of the Marshall Plan and before. So yes, the AIDS epidemic was addressed by something dramatically undertaken by President Bush in his administration called PEPFAR. And so if you want to be America first, if that's part of the policy, then to make the U.S. safer, to make the U.S. stronger, to make the U.S. more prosperous, you have to find ways to contribute to the world, and that is through foreign assistance often.
Eric, it was really great to get your insight on this. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. Thank you for your time.
Happy to help.